Welcome to Haunted Horizons Ghostcast with Alison Oborn, Craig Cameron and Cag Alwood from Haunted Horizons. All right, so we'll start off with a sample of the ghost tube where it was interesting, and then we'll just open it. Amy and Jared are here just to answer your questions. I know a lot of you are using it now, and you have been bombarding the Patreon page with questions that
Woo!
So we're going to hand it over.
Fascinating, though, hasn't it?
It has. It's been fascinating.
It has been
People have
fascinating.
been bringing them to the tours, and it's just. I'm just going to show a little sample of when it actually did say something a little bit interesting. I'll bring that one up there. Oh, look, there's me again.
Okay. Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay, so this is the area Francis Clooney died, just about oh, okay. Alright guys, so I'm just going to start running a ghost tube session here now. This is kind of the area I was walking through when my ear went weird, and I've never had anything like this before, and it still feels really gross now. Also, we do have a new feature on GhostTube. Unfortunately, this one at the moment is only available on Android. Oh, poisoned. Android. That's interesting because so poisoned is a little bit relevant because here, the child, Sydney, there's some controversy around their death.
A child here that was Sydney. Unfortunately, he passed away when he was 3 years old. His mum and dad used to have a shop here. He unfortunately died through gas poisoning, which his mother was blamed for, but we don't think she was to blame.
Alison probably knows a little bit more. Sorry.
So there you go. We don't need any more of me.
I love how Facebook they've actually called it not Ghost Tube but Ghost Obsession. Did you see that?
Oh, did
I
it?
got myself laughing. Yeah, it wasn't Ghost Tube; it was Ghost Obsession. I was like, what?
There's subtitles on, so I don't know why. My computer
Cologne obsession. Like
obsession. Obsession. So that was a very relevant word that you got there.
Yeah.
You couldn't have had a more relevant sort of word come out. Ghost tube. Especially, as I said, not only did Sydney get poisoned with the gas, but his mum also poisoned herself as well. So poison was a big part of that. So.
Yeah. It's GhostTube has I think it's 500 words. So, it's got a very limited vocabulary, really, when you think about it. It's only 500 words and phrases, right? So, yeah, I mean, but still, it's a lot for that to come up out of all of them. So,
everything to come out on. So, everybody else was watching the automatic subtitles as well.
So instead of running a GhostTube session, it's going to be a Ghost Obsession.
Yeah. Yeah.
How cool's that?
A few people laugh at your automatic subtitles on YouTube.
Yeah. They always mess up.
It's like our Ghostcast ones. We get, when we're doing the interviews, we're getting automatic on Facebook, and I don't know how they're not set for that, and it's all sorts of hilarious things coming out, which is really annoying, but it is quite funny. We all have ghost sessions, so...
Can I start with a complaint first? Because Shane wants to know, he's very disappointed why you can't teleport with it yet.
Working on that.
Working on it.
Back to the workshop, he said.
Alison and Cag, you have seen some cool new upcoming features that we haven't shown.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that's going to be exciting.
You've seen them, so you know what we're talking about.
We're so excited.
So that's behind me. Sorry for the Matrix looking background. That's actually the source code. That's what he was working on over the weekend. So, yeah. Unfortunately, it's a long time to make, because I work full time, so I only work on this on weekends. So, it's taken a long time. I think I've been working on this for 2 years.
Over 2 years to build the app.
Yeah, and then obviously on an ongoing basis for the improvements and the new features and that sort of thing. So it's taken a long time.
Yeah, so. But it's pretty cool. And it'll be a cool one.
I mean,
it's going to be brilliant.
Just sort of bring a whole bunch of stuff together, because we were traveling at the time and we didn't have enough room for all the gadgets we carried today. Like you've seen our suitcase now, we don't have as much stuff as you, but we've got a suitcase full of stuff now. While we were traveling and backpacking, we didn't have that space. So we had to sort of come up with something that could bring it all in one. But now that we are home, we like to use all sorts of gadgets because, of course, we like to, if you get evidence in one thing, it's always good to see if you get evidence in something else, right? So it makes it more compelling, right? So, yeah, so we've expanded our animal equipment.
Yeah, we have.
Stuff, but that's what it was intended for, right? At first, was just to bring a few things together and also make it a bit cheaper because some of that stuff can be quite expensive as well. So
Yeah, and heavy to carry around, as we find out. So
exactly,
The more you get.
exactly.
And that's why we don't take clothes with us.
well, sometimes we.
Take the gadgets.
I put my clothes into Cag's bag.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I have like all the equipment, big equipment. So if anybody gets stopped at the airport, it's always my name called. Miss Alison Oborn, please come to CCTV. And oh God, I found my suitcase.
Found the kit.
So on your phone, you're fine. So
Actually,
right, we got.
Also, I was going to say another reason for it as well is because Amy was obviously making videos, and quite often she would yell at me for not pointing the camera at the right thing at the right time. And so, I might have been exaggerating there, but another thing was so that you could have the readings on screen no matter where you're pointing the camera. So,
And obviously we wanted a tool as well that opens paranormal investigating to a lot more people. So, I mean, everyone has a phone, right? Like smartphones are just a thing that you always have on you now. So we were like, let's look at the technology that a phone has and see if it can cross over with any of the ghost tools. And funnily enough, there are some things there that are pretty similar in nature. So.
Most of them contain a infrared sensor. Most of them contain a magnetometer, and most of them contain gyroscope, to detect how you're moving your phone around. So, Yeah,
so what? Because it can't be a ghost box, though, can it? Because I know some of them have ghost boxes, but they don't have FM radio.
There's no AM/FM receiver in most phones. There might be some obscure random branded phone out there that has an AM/FM receiver, but I mean, no iPhones, none of the most common popular Android phones have an AM/FM receiver. So I know that there's some that have Spirit Box capability. They're not scanning AM/FM radio frequencies.
So they must work in a different way.
Yeah.
So it's basically when they say it's a ghost box, it's actually just like an Ovilus, I guess, with that type of thing happening. Maybe pre-recorded audio, perhaps. I'm not actually sure how they work. We don't offer that functionality though, for that reason, that there's no AM/FM receiver. I think some of them may class themselves as sound banks, and what they have is pre-populated recorded sounds. And if I had to take a guess at how they work, they probably use the magnetometer as well. But rather than select words from a dictionary like we do, they might select sounds from their sound bank. And if you put those sounds together, they could form. Yeah. Do you know if any of those apps? Because another thing why they get knocked is a lot of those apps seem to want to know where you are. They're also, your phone has got a microphone type recording thing on it, and obviously, and the argument is it actually listening to what you're saying and then it's spitting out something relevant? You know anything about it?
So Ghosted definitely doesn't have that capability. It has it reads, obviously it's listening to your microphone for the purpose of recording it to a video. So it gets the sound in, records it to video, and in between then it applies a math calculation to get the little bars at the bottom that are visualizing the sound. But interpreting audio and turning it into words is actually pretty complicated, and there's no free open libraries that Google or Apple provide that allow you to do that. So what that means is if you wanted to do that, you would have to be pretty clever and you'd have to program that yourself. There's no, there's no examples you could just copy and paste into your app from online that show you how to interpret sound like that. It's pretty complex sort of thing. And Apple and Android with their Siri or their Google Voice, where you say, Google, call my mum or something like that. They actually send, my understanding of how they work is they send the recording to their machine learning platform in the cloud. So you need internet for those. it interprets it there and then sends the response back. So it doesn't actually happen on your phone.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's actually not that easy. Mind you, sometimes you can get words that were super relevant to what you just said, and it could be that just a random fluctuation in magnetic energy, because magnetic north is always sort of fluctuating around. Set that off, or maybe the theories about spirits are true. It's sort of up to
some of those apps, the Spirit Box type apps, can record you, and they actually record you and kind of play back your own voice to you, and kind of add filters or garble it.
They add a reverb, so it sounds super echoey and crazy.
Yeah, but it is your voice coming back at you. So you might ask a question and say, you say the spirit you're trying to contact is called Fred, and you might say, "Is Fred here?" And then I feel like it's weird if it records your voice saying Fred and then plays it back to you saying Fred, if that makes sense. So
some of them are a reverb, and I'm no sound expert, so I don't actually know what reverb means, but you've heard some of them, like really echoey, really like, and apparently that's cool. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, that was some of the arguments I've seen against apps, is it's only recording your voice sometimes and playing it back.
Yeah.
So
one thing we tried to do with GhostTube is make it so that you can replicate its features without a spirit being there. So, for example, a magnetometer, if you hold a phone next to your phone, you can actually see it react. And the proximity sensor, when you put your hand near it, except on your phone, Alison, I think we had troubles last time on the Samsung Galaxy S10. But for phones where that bug isn't present, you can put your hand near it and it will go off, right? And that just, I think, a good way is to demonstrate that we are really just using the raw sensors on your phone. I mean, the exception in the Ghost Dictionary, which is probably the most experimental, right? But otherwise, those other sensors are just raw proximity readings and magnetic readings.
Yeah. So have we got questions coming in?
We're just saying loads of people are using it. Loads of people are absolutely loving it. Shane's still disappointed that you still haven't done the teleporting. But anyway, that's Shane, bless him, bless his little cotton socks. Please ignore all the comments about, are you the naked paranormal investigators? That's because we're talking about not putting clothes in suitcases as well. So... But there was a post, wasn't there, about no naked and paranormal investigating or something like that today, wasn't there, on that sign?
Maybe the spirits will be more reactive.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
They'll get a kick out of that.
All right.
Okay, so Ash has asked. Oh, so
sorry,
did you do it?
I did.
Okay. Ash wants to know, how does the GhostTube decide to pull a word, and then how does it decide what words to pull? So he's paid for the full app, love to use it for comparison, and it's handy when you need a quick grab of... He's put a quick grab. I don't think you... Knowing Ash. Love you to bits, Ash, but yeah. So just want to grab something quickly and go.
Firstly, thanks for using the app and also for finding the full version. It really helps us out because, as I don't want to drag on too long with this, but we put a lot of effort into it. And we actually continue to make up improvements. So I'm constantly working on it. So it's not something I've made. It's just, people are just purchasing it. It's actually another job on top of my full-time job. So it's a lot of effort. So I appreciate your support there. How the words are selected. So it's got 500 words in it. If you don't have the full version, I think it's only 250 words. That's one of the features, is you can get more words in it. And each word's assigned a number. I think the first one's assigned the number 0, then the next one's assigned the number 1,000, and then 2,000, and 3,000, and so on and so forth, up to 500,000. So they're each assigned a numeric number. The magnetic reader, the magnetometer, gives you the magnetic readings as a 3-dimensional vector coordinate, so it gives you 3 numbers, an X, Y, Z, and that's supposed to represent where magnetic north is. Now it's essentially a compass. That's how the compass in your phone works. When you're using the Maps apps, you can see what way, it can tell what way you're facing. How it works is it grabs those 3 numbers and it converts it to a single number which represents the strength of magnetic field near your phone, and that determines the little EMF bar at the bottom, the green bar that moves left and right. that single number, it also performs a calculation on that to determine a value to compare against the dictionary. And if the value equals one of those words, it will say it. That's essentially how it works. So the magnetometer in your phone does two things in Ghost Tube. It controls the little green bar at the bottom that moves back and forth, and it also could select a word. And I think the theory behind it is spirits could manipulate the magnetic energy to select a word based on whether they project a stronger magnetic field or a weaker one.
Well, Lisa used it in her car today. She got some very strange words coming out, so that was a cool one. Well, you need to look into that one, Lisa.
So it will come out with random words, though, won't it? I mean, it's not, obviously, it's not a ghost. When you turn it on, you've got words coming out. It's obviously not a ghost every time that you turn it on.
I recently had someone on YouTube do a review of Ghost Tube, and they were in their basement or their garage, and they were holding it near things, and they were testing the magnetometer, and they're like, oh, yeah, that works. And then they were holding it next to random things like their hot water thing, and a whole bunch of random stuff. And it was giving off words, and they're like, yeah, you know, this is fake because it's giving off words. And my response was, well, it's expected to do that if you're going to be holding it against stuff because it's based on the magnetometer. So, yes, of course, it will definitely trigger random words if you're doing that. But as mentioned before, yeah, magnetic north is naturally always sort of fluctuating, and so it will every now and then give off a random word. And another thing to point out as well is that we've made this app to work on a lot of different phones, right? Android, iPhones. And in Android, you can get Samsungs, you can get LG, you can get Nokia, you can get a whole bunch. And all of those different manufacturers use different components in their phones. And the truth is some magnetometers are more sensitive than others. So at first when we released this, some people were saying they opened the app and it was just going boom, 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 boom. They couldn't even, it was just word. It was going crazy. And then others said, we're not getting any words at all, ever. We've had the phone running for 2 hours and it's not running. So that's when we realized that, okay, all of these different phone manufacturers have different components, and the magnetometer is different in all the different phones, which is why we then added a new feature in the settings where you can adjust the sensitivity. And some people thought that as a way to cheat and make your phone give more results. Yeah. And our word there is, sure, you could do that, but if you're doing that, you're just cheating yourself, right? If you're trying to, get answers about the paranormal, then you're just kidding yourself. Yeah. So that feature's there to account for devices where it's obviously just going crazy and you need to disquiet it a bit. And all that does is increases the distance between each of those numbers that the numbers assigned to each word. So instead of being every 1,000 number, it'll be every 2,000 number. It just gives it a bit more disparity between the numbers so the word's not selected so easily.
Yeah. So, and how do you choose them?
Words in words.
You are explaining it really well, actually. So, and I'm usually befuddled with stuff. Befuddled? That's a great word.
Befuddled. We love that word, don't we? Befuddled.
I use befuddled
or a kerfuffle. A kerfuffle's a good one as well.
So Lisa, the app I have, Ghost Tube, it's a free one. Yes, that's the same app. You can pay for pay for some extra stuff to get other stuff. I think I've only got the free one.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
No, you paid. You paid for yours.
I paid. I wanted the whole.
Yeah, the free version. To be honest, we wanted to make this free for everybody, so it is actually free, and you can actually use it. Most of its features in the free version. I think the only limitation is you can only record for like 2 minutes, and it doesn't have as many words in the database. But otherwise, you could still use it in the free version. So, but if you do upgrade, then you're helping an independent developer or developers out. So that's really it. But otherwise,
cool.
It's free to use. So
yeah, Jenny was saying it's awesome to have everything in one hand. Everything you need is just in one hand. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was one of the main reasons we did it. So having said that, as we said though, we like to compare evidence with different devices though. So we're always using a whole bunch. But for sure, if you just want to hold one thing, it is quite handy to that.
Yeah. Hey, Kirsty says technologically challenged. like probably me. That seems an awful lot of work. How long did it take you to build the actual app? To do something like that?
So Amy came up with the idea for the app when we were driving.
We were in Wales.
We were in Wales and we were driving to
2018.
the Skirridin.
Yeah.
We were driving to the Skirridin, and Amy said,
like the start of 2018.
imagine if we had an app that wasn't over the top with crazy graphics and like made you feel a bit sort of like, is this thing really real? Like, she wants it to be serious. Imagine if we had a serious app that we could overlay in our videos so that people could see the results we're getting on screen.
And I thought of it as Snapchat, but the filters that come on are like ghost devices.
Yeah, so Snapchat, but instead of bunnies on your head, it's ghost feet, you know, things on your head. And I was like, wow, that's a really awesome idea. And then I think as soon as we got to Skirridin, you started filming your episode and I started coding straight away. From there, we had a working version by the time we got to Ireland.
Yeah, Dublin
Hellfire Club. We used it for the very first one, and we had a working version. It wasn't on sale yet or available in the market, but we had it there. So that was about a month or two to get a working test version. And then that was just Android only.
Because he has to redevelop it on the iPhone, which is a whole different programming language.
So then by the time we got to Romania, which would have been about 2 months later, we had a working version on iPhone. And then for about the next 6 to 8 months, we had a lot of complaints that the quality of video on the Android version was bad. And that was a real challenge. And it took me a long time to fix that. It's fixed now. But for about a year after that, we had a working version, but it had quality issues. It worked perfectly on Amy's phone because we made it using Amy's phone. But we had a lot of negative reviews because it was bad. But since then, I think in December last year, we had a breakthrough where I finally worked out a new way of encoding videos that made it a lot faster and a lot better performing. And then from there, we've just been working on it ever since. We just add new features as we go. And as Alison and Cag know, we've got a new feature that we've been working on, a couple, and that's been going on for the last 6 months.
Yay.
So,
Can't wait for that.
yeah, it's taken about 2.5 years to get to where it is now. 2.5 years to get to where it is now, and we're still going.
Yeah.
So.
And you're still going and still looking at new features, which is great.
Yeah.
I'm behind on the comments.
No, well, Kyla has just said that she had the name Kayla come through on the Ghost Tube. Would it be possible trying to pronounce the names? Is it very similar to where it will go sound like the nearest?
It could be. Well, yeah, as you said, it's only got 500 words, right? So and out of names probably make up maybe 100 of those words, or maybe 50. I don't actually remember the exact number, but there's about 50 to 100 names in there. So there is a mix of names, right? So unfortunately, I can't put every single name in history in there. So we've just picked the most common. To be honest, when I populated it, I went to baby name websites, and I just said, most common boys' names, girls' names, and I just whacked them in. But I actually had to do that for multiple countries, so I went through all the different languages. So when I got for Japanese names, and it actually took a while to get them all in there, but they're all in there. So it doesn't.
So I take it Cag's not in there then.
No, but do you want me to? One of the. No, it might be actually. One of the requested features is to make so you can add your own words and names to the dictionary. I thought about doing it. I'm just worried people are going to put bad words in there, and it might like the brand through the mud.
Yeah, we're not sure if it's, like say we'll take the Skirridin for instance. Say you were going there, you might use the hauntings to add in particular ghost names that haunt that area or things that are relevant. So you might add in Hangman because there was a lot of hangings there, or Fanny, which is the ghost that haunts the Skirridin.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, it could be useful if those words weren't in there, but then is it kind of like,
skewing the results?
I don't know if anyone has any thoughts on that.
To be honest,
could you do it where you had some names some words were banned that you couldn't? Is there any chance of doing that? You couldn't add certain words.
You could do that. And I suppose to Amy's point around where people could skew the results by adding in the words that they want. I mean, it would only let you.
Still a slim chance.
It's still has to select them. It's not. It's just adding them to the end of the dictionary. It's not, making them appear any more frequently than any other, words. So yeah, we could do it. I think it's a planned feature, but right now we're just working on those other features you've seen, and then we'll add things like that a bit later.
Yeah.
Yeah. If spirits can use these things the way people think they can, obviously they're not going to be able to pick their name if their name's not in it. So.
Now Lisa wants to know, she's got the GhostTube app. How can she get the added stuff onto it?
Yeah, as in the
extra stuff.
The extra stuff. So most of the stuff that's in the app you can use in the free version anyway. You just can't record for 2 minutes. I think the only extras are like you can change it to be pink, so you can change the color. That like it's a pretty basic feature, but we thought some people might want to customize their videos. So yeah, I mean, they cost, I think, 99 cents American each. Like, they're not that expensive. The actual app itself is about $14.99 US. Unfortunately, I can't change the pricing from US either. I've only got one choice. But yeah, anything that we make on that app just goes back into additional features and the ongoing work that we're doing on it. So yeah, there should be a little store button. If you click the little button in the left or right hand corner of the screen, you can then view all your videos, and there's a store button where you can see all the added features you can get.
Cool.
How does it compare? I'm just looking at Sonia's. I have it and find it really interesting. How does it compare to a novelist, the way a novelist works? I mean, do you know how a novelist works with the?
Yeah, I don't actually. I would imagine if I was novelist, I would protect my secret source as best as I can. So I doubt they tell you how their words are selected. And to be honest, I've even done it as well. I've described a little bit about how it works tonight, but the maths behind converting the numbers, I can't show that because otherwise they'll just be copycat maths, right? But so I actually don't know how theirs are selected. I can tell you mine are selected based on the magnetic reader. Theirs, I think, are selected based on environmental factors, and I don't know what they are. Maybe it's a magnetometer like mine. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it works on EMF and temperature. So
yeah, they probably get. If I had to guess, they get temperature, they get magnetometer readings. I don't know. Do some multiplication together. I actually don't know. Mine's
pure. That's it.
Yeah, mine's pure magnetometer readings because the phones don't have a temperature reading. So.
Yeah. So.
I've got Jenny here who's got the full app, and she's introducing it to some friends next weekend.
Oh, thanks Jenny.
And she's investigating it. She's off investigating.
Yeah, Jenny. You know what Jenny's like. She just goes off. Bless her. And Trish, absolutely love it. Has a paid version. Best reaction she had was at Thomas Woolcock's grave, where she opened the app up and straight away it said murdered.
Oh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, misspelled word, Zoe. I'll have to fix that.
Where's that? Zoe's.
Well, spelling's not great.
Oh, neither's mine. It's all good. It's just, what you'd have to say is, no, don't tell people your spelling isn't very good. Just say you just want to make sure that everybody was reading it properly.
Yeah.
She's throwing a trick one in.
Yeah. No, I can fix that. Yeah. It's literally the words in the dictionary, literally just a text file with all of the words listed. So yeah, and I typed them all in. So easy fix.
And Ash said the obelisk shows off with 2 antennas.
Yeah. You call that an antenna?
About 2,000 words or something in the obelisk or something like that. I know one of our friends' guests, he reprogrammed the whole of the obelisk.
Wow.
And changed all the words.
It's hilarious.
Swear words.
Oh.
But he said he had to do every word
phonetically. Yeah.
Yeah, phonetically. Are they frozen?
Are we frozen?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
You've frozen.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
We can still hear them, so that's all good.
We can still hear you.
We've also got another one. Yeah, we've also got another one from.
Bring you up again. What if I remove from the stream and then I bring you back in again? Might just reboot it. Oh, or we lose them completely. You there?
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, we're here. Should I stop my camera and put it back on?
We've lost your camera.
I'll just carry on with this question while we're doing that. Kyla, she was using the ghost tube last night, and she had the same word come out the ghost tube as she did from the SB7. So that's really cool.
Oh, that is cool.
That is so cool.
That is cool.
That was like a ha-ha moment. So
Hmm.
everybody's saying awesome explanation as well for everything. So that's cool.
Oh, thank you.
Good work, Jared.
Ash says it would be great to add more camera settings in the app. What sort of camera settings, Ash, would you like? Because, I mean, I know Jared and Amy are always up for ideas.
Absolutely.
We love
Absolutely.
feedback. Yeah.
Yep. So, like, we have a lot of the new features coming. So, one of the new features I can share, which is coming very soon, is the ability to see previous words that have been said, and that's something that a lot of people were asking for. So, yeah, we definitely do try to cater for any feedback or suggestions we get.
See what he says. And they're a little bit behind because Rosemary just said you're frozen. I think we know that. Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Are you back? Hang on. I'm going to bring you. No. Do you know when I can see you down the bottom of my thing that you're there? Oh, no, you've gone again.
Well, as long as we can hear them, so that's fine. That's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I don't
That's
know
all right.
how this stopped.
A lot of people are saying it makes a lot more sense now. So, oh, you're back.
I won't if it happens again, I can fix it.
Okay, so Monica's just asked how much the full version. How much is the full version?
Full version is, I think, $14.99 US, and I have no idea what that is Australian. Sorry. Yeah, but what you can do if people find that that's a bit too pricey for them, you can individually buy the different features. So if there's just one feature you want, you can buy just that feature and then not buy the rest. So there are different options available if you don't want to get everything. But yeah, as we said, everything supports us to keep working on it and keep bringing out new features. So.
And we can contest. He's got some exciting features coming. So
yeah.
Oh yes, so exciting.
I got a bit more first.
We've got Charmaine on. Hi, Charmaine.
Charmaine.
Hi, Charmaine.
When did Charmaine stick in? Who let Charmaine in?
Yeah, come on, Wiz. Come on, off. All right.
Actually, filters and contrast, etc. for the video.
Yeah. So I think there's only a few, and actually the last version on iPhone, I think they weren't, or Android, they weren't actually working on one of the phones I tested. So yeah, we definitely need to have a look at that. We do have some. So I think if you swipe while you're recording, or sorry, when you're not recording, if you swipe, you can get like a grayscale filter. You can get a green screen sort of filter, which some people say that green light. If you get the green light from the camera, it can see better in low light settings, which is why night vision is normally a greenish sort of color. It is just a filter though. Like unfortunately, your phone doesn't have a night vision, so that's not possible. But it's got a low light sort of setting. So yeah, there's a few of them that do exist, but I do know there is a bug where on some phones they're actually not coming up. I think all of them are free as well. They're not premium, so you can use those just by swiping.
Okay. Yeah, but that was Shane's question about can you have night vision on it?
Yeah, unfortunately, phones don't have. Well, for a night vision camera, you need
they could do.
They could do. So they need two things, right?
To take a phone apart and then get it back together again and have it working again.
They need a couple of things. They need an inbuilt filter to pick up certain spectrum of light. They also need a source, right? So you need a light source. Why, Haunted Horizons and even Amy on her channel, you've got a separate LED light which gives off infrared light so that her infrared camera can actually see better. So so it unfortunately doesn't have that. Most phones don't have either of those things unless they're modified.
Yeah, you've got to modify and pull the filter out.
Yeah, we've got a few people that are trying to upgrade and it's not letting them. So do you think it might be just be a glitch in the system at the moment?
Is it? Can I ask? Is it iPhones? Because I have had one person email me and say they're using the latest iPhone and they
on an Apple.
On an Apple. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. So I have had a few people say that they're having issues with it. So I'll look into that. Do you know what type of Apple is it? An iPhone? 5, 6, 7.
We'll find out for you. So, Jared, if you could let us know, please, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Or an iPad, what type of iPad, and then that might help me look into it.
Yeah. Oh, and Zoe said the other day when you left the jail, Alison, it said old, didn't it? And it called me elderly. So she reckons it's really good that it's accurate. I'm like,
I'm disappointed there, Jared, that you have your be able to insult.
We don't need any sarcastic apps. Thank you very much.
Actually, we had, I think, one of Amy's fans downloaded the app, and the first thing it said was "Lady of the Night," and we were just like, "Oh my god!"
Oh, there was one that was just saying, just only come up with one word because hers came up with 3.
Yeah.
I am dead. I think it's. I can't find it now.
So we started adding phrases in there. One feedback we had was that some people were saying it would be good if there was phrases it could select. So we added some phrases in there. So just some basic ones like that. So they can be selected in the same way as a word.
Well, so it's 23 Australian dollars. And people are saying worth it. Well, about 21, 22, $23.
Yeah, okay. I think with the conversion, it depends on the Australian dollar, right? Everything's a bit up and down at the moment.
Okay.
So. Yeah.
And Charmaine's now saying hi.
Hi, Charmaine.
Hi, Charmaine.
Don't encourage her, Amy. Don't encourage her. She doesn't need it. She's been on TV.
Comes on. Miss
I know.
Charmaine TV.
Yeah, she does. Bless her.
Sonia said it called her old and sad.
Oh dear.
That's funny.
We actually have a running joke in the house because for some reason there's one name that seems to come up more often than any other in this particular house, and it's Barbara. For some reason, we don't know why. We don't know if it's just coincidentally Barbara comes up a lot, and now because we've made a joke of it, we'll make
Anytime we hear
it, we're like, Barbara. But it does say Barbara a lot in this house for some reason. So there you go.
That's cool.
So if you ever hear me randomly say Barbara, I'm just taking with this.
Okay, so when you've already paid for upgrades, do you get the updates, or are they going to be extra as well? This is something.
No, if there's any new features that get added, you'll have them. Obviously, we're not going to go back and ask you to pay again if you've already got the full version. But I will say that one upcoming feature will actually be a new app itself. It'll be a sister app, and the reason for that is it actually uses a different camera library than the other one, and that's the one that you guys know about. You've seen that feature that I haven't told anyone about yet, but that uses a different type of camera library. And so unfortunately, that has to be.
And we're not giving you any clues, guys. So don't ask.
No, we won't be giving any clues whatsoever. I don't care whether you're Patreon or not.
Jared has got an iPhone 11. He's the one that's having problems getting the upgrade.
Interestingly, the other person that also complained was an iPhone 11. Maybe it's the same person actually. So I will look into that. I've actually just bought myself. Excuse me.
Oh, poor Lisa had rest in peace. That's a bit worrying, isn't it?
I actually just bought myself an iPhone 11 because I'm working on that new feature, and it does require a certain type of chip, which is done in the iPhone 11. So I can actually try and solve that problem now.
That's good.
So yeah.
Cool.
All right.
I think there's also an with the iPhone 11. I noticed on mine the sound spectrum looks a bit inaccurate. It's like going crazy when there's no sound, so I need to work on that as well. I don't know if he's had that as well. That problem.
So that, I mean, it's always a work in progress, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm waiting for you to fix the Note 10.
Oh, the proximity. Yeah. It's so weird. I actually did some research on that, and your proximity sensor is like under the screen, and I don't know if that's got anything to do with it. It should still work, but yeah, I have no idea. I'm still looking into it. Yeah, so your proximity doesn't go off when you put your hand near it. Doesn't go off, does it?
No, it doesn't go off at all.
Oh.
I'll have to put it on another phone.
Yeah.
We've got lots of people commenting about the results they've had. Some things that have come out that have been strange, weird, but pretty cool as well. So,
One
and also, Luke wants to know, why are you so smart?
Why are you? Why are you?
Yeah, why are you so smart?
I'm not that smart. I'm not that smart. I always, as a kid, I liked computers and coding and that, so I've always coded. I'm not a coder, that's not what I do for a living, but I've always just coded.
He's just a nerd.
Yeah, big nerd, really.
That's handy for you, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you do the ghost stuff. Okay, just going on. If I'm fading out, I'm just going through the comments, that's all. So, all right, let's see. Interestingly, the Samsung S10 Plus has proximity issues too. It doesn't go off. So I've got the 10 Note and the S10. Because
So
I have
Alison's got about 15 mobile phones, so she's got one of everything.
I would be interested if someone has the Galaxy S9 or 8 or 11, if there's one.
Well, I've got the Note 9 and the 8, S8, and I've got...
I actually think this might be unique with S10. Honestly, I think it might be unique. So I'll have to look into that. The challenging thing is we've only got a Galaxy S7,
What is it? Is mine 7?
whatever yours
I think
is,
mine's
7, and an iPhone 10 and an iPhone 11. So it's hard to test on any other device, you know? It's like, yeah, that's one of the challenging things. That's what a big issue a year and a half ago.
I should let you borrow my S10.
Yeah, that's what led a year and a half ago to the issue we had, where it was the performance. Because on Amy's it worked fine.
Yeah.
So I had no idea that I had this issue, and then it took a while to fix. So. Yeah.
Well, you know how people have shoe fetishes and handbag fetishes. Alison's is mobile phones.
Mobile phone.
I like technology. I don't know how it works most of the time.
Yeah, but when you go everywhere, we don't need to take 3 mobile phones with us, do we?
I do. I have 3 mobile phones wherever I go. You can never have enough mobile phones on you.
Right, what else is there?
Sounds like the S9 issue, everyone's saying. That's a good thing. One person's asked, could I recommend the best phone for the app? They would get a new phone. So that's Pyronus Nin.
That's Jen.
I would say my advice would be not to get a phone based on, you know, GhostTube solely. But if you're really keen on getting the best phone for GhostTube, I've got 2 schools of thought on that. So iPhone doesn't let you access the proximity sensor, which is why there is no proximity sensor on the iPhone. Apple's weird about accessing that sensor for some reason. They've got one, but they don't let programmers use it. So if you get an iPhone, you won't have the proximity sensor. But a new feature, again, which we're teasing, which we can't really tell you about.
We're teasing so bad.
At the moment, is only going to be available on iPhone because it's leveraging a special library which Apple has developed, which Android hasn't yet. So I don't know. There's going to be some features on some which aren't available on the other, and vice versa.
As it's what the phone is capable of doing, I guess.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have it.
Choose between proximity sensor and this new feature we're developing, which is only going to be on the iPhone. I would probably pick the iPhone because it's a very cool feature, but I can't share any more about it. But I would also say though, like, look at other things you're going to be using your phone for, right? And
I'm going to be missing out on it because I don't have enough. I've never gone for iPhones.
And GhostTube is just one app you'll use, right? So you probably just need to think about a few more things before you spend that, all that money on a phone as well, right?
It's funny because I've never gone for an iPhone either. Paula, can you app save store the word list and date?
That is coming, yes. That is a feature we're working on. It's actually ready to go. I think on the iPhone it might already be available. Maybe, I'm not sure. I don't know if I released it yet, but that feature is coming very soon.
And Shane says, what's the point of a phone without GhostTube? So that's a good point, isn't it?
It's a good point. Yes, very valid.
See, GhostTube is like that is on my phone because I used to get the other ones and it's like just to see what they were like so I could talk when people asked what they were like. But GhostTube's the only one that stayed on my phone. The rest have all gone bye-bye.
Yeah, and Rosemary was saying that anybody would think you just use your mobile phone to call people. Is that, Oh, yeah, and Jenny's turning into Alison because she will hold on to her iPhone and get another 2. Oh, I'm turning into Alison.
Well, you might as well, because I mean, what else are you going to do with your phone? All right, your old phones, you might as well just have them stacking up and use them whenever. Julie says, looks like we'll all be walking around with 2 phones.
Well, we've got the iPhone 11 is just for developing, so that's not even the phone we're going to be using most of the time.
Yeah.
So iPhone, I wouldn't know. I've never used one. I don't know. I've always been a Samsung girl. I think
I've always been a Samsung.
Cameras are pretty much better on Samsung, I think, and we do a lot of photography and filming.
Yeah. Ours is actually based on photography, isn't it, rather than anything else? So Jenny's also saying no other apps, just GoTube and YouTube. Well, GhostTube and YouTube. So no other apps apart from that.
One feature I will tease, actually, I will tell you guys what one of the features is. And this will be available on Android and Apple, and that's going to be the community tab. So that'll be a tab where you can share your ghost videos and photos with other people using GhostTube. It's actually done on the iPhone, but not published yet, because I'm waiting to finish the Android version, and then we'll release them at the same time. But essentially, it'll be a place where you can share your results with other people, get advice on what other people think about your evidence, and debunk even, So that's coming soon.
That's cool.
So Shane was saying,
I know you weren't laughing at what Jared was saying there, but you just
no, sorry, I'm sorry. It's just Shane's come out with, I have a phone on my GhostTube. And then Ash has come up with, do phones call people?
Yeah, I like Jenny's comment, Pyrenees, to you lot, Nin. Sponsorship by Samsung and iPhone. Make them pay. You keep promoting them and pushing them and everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Pouring another Coke.
Yeah, whatever. Wait for the other bottle to open.
Well, there's the Coke. I don't know what went into my glass before it, but there you go. It's one of those days, guys. This is making me much better.
No, Shane, Jared is not going to spill the beans on the new feature.
Neither are we, so don't even try it. I think it's so exciting. I love it.
Very soon.
I love it. Oh, what is it?
We started with it, so it might be in a few videos soon, and I'm rushing to get it finished before she uses it. So obviously she can't use it if we can't get it yet.
But it's
They're
cool.
gonna love it. They're gonna love it.
Yeah, it's going to be for it.
And Sonia's looking forward to the share feature. So YouTube will be past cutting them.
Yeah. Any more questions, guys?
I thought you had lots of questions, Ash. We've only had one from you. Come on, you can do better than that. He said, I've got
Mummy's medicine. Exactly.
Jared also
Mummy's
had
medicine.
Right up on ghostubeapp.com. He wrote a blog like how the app works. It doesn't go like heaps into detail, but it gives you a pretty good overview of what the sensors are, what they use, and like how they get the results. So it's pretty good to read that and just to get a little grasp of, the app and what's going on.
Yeah, ghostubeapp.com. Unfortunately, ghostube.com was taken, so I had to use ghostubeapp.com. There's some.
Who else has got GhostTube?
No idea, but they wanted a lot of money for it, and I was like, But I will say that I'm not as good a blog writer as Amy, so the articles aren't that great.
Good. I'm proud of them.
They're not that good. There's probably typos.
Have you? If you've got it, can you link it?
How do I do that?
Send me the link, and then I'll link it on this page so people can. Yeah, because that'd be good. Or
okay. So sorry, go on.
I can link it.
Julianne, not even a smidgen of a hint. No.
You okay, here's your hint. All right, this is your hint. Are you ready? You're gonna love it. That's all we get.
really cool.
Trina says they're going to use Chinese water torture. Will get you to spill the beans.
Jenny says, "Will it be ready for Santa to give me?"
I'm hoping to have it done in a few weeks. I'm rushing to get it done. I will tell her. Okay, I'll tell you the history behind it. I came up with this idea ages ago, but at the time the technology wasn't there to do it, and then Apple recently released this new library which makes it possible, and I thought I'll do that after Community Tab. And so I was working on Community Tab, which was 6 months away. Anyway, another app creator released a screenshot that showed that they were making this thing. And I was like, damn it, they're going to beat me to it. And so I'm quickly now scrambling to get it out before them now. So it was something I had planned for a long time, and it's possible, but only for the iPhone 11 and above. That's another reason I wasn't focusing on it too much, because I had such a small niche. Like, it was
it's not going to be open.
It's only on the latest iPhone, and not everyone has that. So it's sort of like, I can work on that later when more phones have functionality.
You can work on everything after it, but at least you've got it out.
Yeah.
But now that I know that other people are working towards the same goal, I'm trying to now get it out sooner. So I'm I'm working on that now. So that's why I started it about a week and a half ago, and I'm hoping to have it done in a few weeks. So
that's quick.
That's cool, isn't it?
Because GhostTube already exists, I've already got a lot of the, the design, the layout, the menus. It's all the same. I've just got to plug this new, you know what I mean? So it wasn't like writing the whole thing from scratch. So so that's why I was able to produce this new feature quite quickly.
Yeah. So Paul has just been saying the app seems to give out short sentences instead of single words quite a lot of the time, but that's because people ask for you to put them in, doesn't it? So that's the reason it comes out in sentences.
They asked me to put in like, like some common phrases. I don't know what sort of phrases he's referring, but like just some common phrases we did. We figure like, well, if they can select a word, why not let them select the phrase to save them having to select multiple words? But
Now with the Obelisk, you can go to an Obelisk thing and you can see all the words that are programmed in. So you can look at the list of words.
Yeah.
Do you have anywhere where you can see the list of what you programmed in there?
I haven't, but if people want to see that, I guess I could. I mean, as I said, it's just in a text file. It's just a list of words. I guess I could. That could be a new feature to add where you can say, maybe when I release the feature where you can add your own words, at that same screen, you'll be able to see the existing words that are in there and just add them to the bottom, maybe. We could look into doing that. I mean, I've got nothing to hide. I mean, the words are, it's just a list of words. And
sometimes you'll get a weird word out of the Obelisk and you'll go, whoever thought about programming that in? And then you'll go and check it up on the dictionary to see what he's put in there. And you go, he did actually put it.
How I came up with the words was I came up with some categories. So I put like names was one. Numbers was another one. Locations was another one. So words like over here or left, right, up, down, they're in locations, and names has John, Jane, so on. Greetings has hello, goodbye, other words. Emotions like happy, sad. Yes, no's is in I don't know what that category is called, but question. I don't know that one, but I just came up with all these categories. Ways to die. I just thought, what do people ask spirits normally? What do they want?
It's true, isn't it?
What would spirits say to us? So ways to die is in there. Jobs are in there. Like, what did you do for a living is in there. So like, there's lady of the night, doctor, nurse, that sort of thing. There's religious words in there. So some people might ask about that. I don't know. There's a few categories. There's a few different things. I think there's a paranormal group. So that's got words like, demon, possessed, spirit. I mean, they're just words. So I don't know. It's just a whole bunch of words. Guilty and innocent are in there. So I think there's like crime-related words, because a lot of people investigate places where there was true crime, crime or something happened. I just came up with all these words. I just thought, what do we normally ask, or what do we normally...
Ash wants bad words.
Bad words.
Ashwood.
That goes back to the dilemma of that goes back to when people put their own words in, because it's got the go to the...
You don't want putting his own words in.
No, you don't want that.
and I have seen people get on our page, get a little bit, or like, I've had it on in my house and it came out with this, and I'm a little bit worried about it. So Paul is here saying, I got watching behind you, Satan, and got very spooked about it. But it doesn't always mean anything, does it, the words that are coming out?
No, I wouldn't be scared. I don't think that there's any need to be scared. Like, I don't think we wouldn't ever put anyone in a position where something bad could happen to them. There's lots of reasons why those words could have been selected. It could have been, if you've got interference around the phone in your home anywhere, like there's lots of gadgets in your home typically, right, that are influencing somewhat the magnetic north, even just a tiny bit, right? And that could trigger words. And as I said, the guy in his basement holding his phone next to all those random metal objects, and that was triggering words as well. So yeah, I wouldn't be scared by those. I mean, that is a highly coincidental string of words that sort of all seem related and a bit spooky, right? Demon, what was it? Demon, because behind you.
What is watching behind Satan or something?
Yeah, I mean, that is quite a spooky string to come out, because there's lots of happy words in there too, right? So for those three to come out, is a bit spooky, but I wouldn't be spooked though. I mean, just these can be random if there's magnetic energy or fields that are influencing your magnetometer.
My phone.
Yeah,
I'm going to give an example of that, but I can't find my phone.
You've got the other extreme, which is Vanessa, that she turned on and had nothing come out, which is okay as well, isn't it? Words don't have to come out, do they?
No, exactly.
We always tell people to be skeptical. Like when you're using any paranormal tool, you've got to, I guess, take it with a grain of salt. And we try for relevance for, things that we have been asking, or the history of the situation that you're in as well. So
we've got like ours running now.
I would guess if mine's running at the moment. The reason I'm looking around is I did have, because I've got 3 or 4 phones. Only one of them does have Ghost Tube on it, and I did have it here, but I don't know where it is now. But that's because my office is gone. I was going to run it because I reckon if I ran Ghost Tube now in here, and it's like when I run the Ovilus or when I run the there's a lot of interference because I've got 3 or 4 computers around me with 3 or 4 screens, and I'm going to guess that would affect it throwing out words. So
some people will also say, I had 2 Ghost Tubes running next to each other, and one said one word but the other one didn't, so therefore how can you say it works? And my only response to that really is that the magnetometer in each phone, unless the phones were in the exact same position within one another, you are going to get different magnetic readings because one's here and one's here. So the value of that, those 3-dimensional coordinates of where magnetic north is slightly different for this phone as it is for this phone, right? So
we have the same with the Ovilus as well, don't we?
Yeah,
we have 2 Ovuluses going and not have the same words coming out.
Yeah, and now that you know how at least Ghost Tube works with the magnetic readings, I think it would be pretty rare to have them both say the exact same thing because of they're slightly dislocated from one another, right? Even if it is only 10 centimeters apart, I mean they're getting different readings.
You can have 2 normal EMF meters side by side. You're gonna get different readings on it, and you're going, is it calibrated right? It's like the EDIs we had the other day. Totally different temperatures on. They just didn't calibrate.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend what Trina did though. She turned hers on in this classroom, and the kids are wondering where the voice was coming from. Love it.
Actually, I saw from Sonia. Maybe Satan is meant to be Santa. Hang on, that might be scary.
Was that another one of my typos? Santa.
That's true. Yeah, Zoe got touched on the leg at the Adelaide jail, and hers came out with Randy.
Oh. I think Randy was supposed to be the name Randy, not like I'm feeling.
I know. I assumed that, but it was interesting though.
But yeah, sure, why not? It can have 2 purposes. Yeah.
Like Zoe.
Mel was on about a proximity feature for an additional purchase.
Proximity should be free. Proximity should be free. It should just be there. I think if you're on an iPhone, it won't be there because Apple doesn't let developers access the proximity.
She has a Samsung S10.
The S10.
That's the problem. S10. Sorry, Mel, you got the wrong phone.
Yes. So Alison's phone is also not working either. I think it's a problem with the S10. The proximity sensor is different to other phones. For the first time, it's under the screen. It's not like a little. It's on Amy's phone.
Mine is somewhere up here, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm going to try and show Amy's phone. This is Amy's phone here, right? Oh, sorry. She's got a camera right there next to my finger there, that round thing.
Mm-hmm.
And over here, she's got a little proximity sensor. See the little beep blinking light?
Yeah.
Wait, it'll blink in a minute. Is it blinking?
Yep.
That's actually an invisible light, but this webcam must be able to detect infrared. So that's an infrared light projecting out when it blinks. And that detects when you put your hand near it. Your proximity sensor is under the screen, and for some reason it's just not working. I don't know why. I actually tried researching it, and there were some people saying that they've had issues with the proximity sensor on the Samsung, but I'm not sure if, I mean, if you try and look up for problems with Samsung, blah, you're going to find an article of someone that's having a problem with it. So regardless of the phone you're trying to look up. So I don't know if it's a manufacturer issue or if maybe it's a non-issue, and maybe the way I've made the app read proximity sensor just isn't working right.
S8 as well.
Don't work on S8. Okay, so it might be something with Galaxies, yeah.
Abby was saying she had the ghost tube on for about an hour. Nothing happened until her mum walked in the room and it came out with, "Why did you come?" How cool is that, though? That's pretty cool, isn't it?
I think one of the best sessions we had, well, not me or Amy, but your mum had, was at, what was the name of that?
Hobart Convict Penitentiary.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that.
Ghost tube was just like, it was on fire.
Yeah.
it was just saying really weird things to her. It sounded like she was having a conversation.
Yeah, it was
where
really
it would be
weird.
like, she would say, "Go touch that, the cat ball, go touch that ball on the floor," and it would be like, "Where?"
And she's like,
right
"There,
in front of
on the
you."
floor, right there." It was like, yeah.
I can't really remember. All the things that it was saying were just like really odd.
And it was like she's having a full conversation with somebody.
Yeah,
though. It was really cool, that one. Yeah.
Actually, his proximity doesn't work on his S8 either.
Yeah. So there's something wrong with Galaxy,
Yeah,
so I'm going to have to look into it.
We're always finding bugs. And it's so helpful, and thank you everyone who's like, "This works, this doesn't work," because as we said, we don't have all these phones. So when we get little clues about that, then we can, Jared can fix them.
at least the proximity sensor is free though, so at least if it's not working, you're not missing out on anything. Like it's free features, so yeah.
Don't worry, I haven't got it either. I have to go searching for one of my phones that'll work with it.
Yeah.
I just have to say something. It's probably a bit controversial, but at jail the other week, we had one of our guests using the app, and they had all sorts of weird things coming out, and it was all to do at the time when that gentleman in America was killed.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all coming out with America, Black, Donald, Breathe, all that sort of stuff. Which was really, 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 and it actually, even Craig, who's major skeptical, he was like, that was just weird.
Yeah,
the whole night it was the same thing.
GhostTube doesn't connect to a server anywhere that says words related to worldwide events, so that is weird. One thing, GhostTube will have internet connectivity when the community feature comes out, just so that you can share videos, because obviously it needs that. But yeah, currently there's no feed of use these words now or anything like that, so that's really weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I walked in on that, and it was just like.
So I think there is a colours category, so it's got like yellow, blue, black, white, and there obviously is names, and Donald's a common name, so that's in there. And what was the other word?
Breathe.
Breathe.
There was Breathe, Black in America.
Oh, and countries is in there too. So America's in there, Australia and England, and so on and so forth. Because you might.
But it's just interesting that all these words were coming out just that weekend.
Yeah.
I would say, in all likelihood, that's a coincidence. I think I would have to say.
Oh yeah, but it's a cool coincidence, though, isn't it?
It is. It's sort of interesting, yeah. But yeah, I haven't heard of that happening. But
it is
Rosemary
interesting.
says she loves the episodes with your mum.
Yes, I've got more coming soon. When I went to Tassie, and I've got heaps of Tassie episodes, I'm just working up to get to them. You'll see Mum in all of them. And there's some like really funny ones or like really cool ones that we had with Mum. Yeah. Or like times where Mum was really just freaking out. Yeah. You'll see more of it.
I've heard some of these stories and I actually really want to see, there's at least one of them that they told me a story and I've got to see it to believe it. The one where there's something in the room running towards you or something in your mum then.
Oh yeah.
That one, yeah. So I haven't seen them yet. So I've just heard about them. So
oh cool.
Yeah.
So is the proximity sensor, is that the little triangle that pops up or something different?
Proximity.
It's like a little tower with a ball on top, and it lights up red when it
you put your hand near
when
it
senses something.
Unless you've got a Galaxy S10, in which case it won't do. Yeah, it's supposed to detect when there's something within a few inches. So it's only a small sensor. Obviously, if you compare it to the Paranormal Music Box, it's a lot smaller infrared sensor, right? So it's only
when you put your phone to your ear, so you don't cheek dial people.
That was its intended purpose. And we've just made it trigger an alert when that gets triggered. So yeah, hand, let me do it.
That's it. Make the S10 people really jealous.
So when you get really close, it looks like this little.
So when I cover
that little one there.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. I like that one.
Ash says good feature on app would be to increase audio on sound when reviewing if you push an option. Good for when you think you hear something.
What's that, sorry?
Like an audio enhance. So if you think that you've got a little like
you can increase the audio of the sound.
Okay, yeah, maybe in the playback. Someone actually, Luke just said, I have an S10 and I think mine works. Something goes red and beeps when it's covered by a hand or object. That's weird. So they've got the S10 and theirs works.
Oh.
Weird.
How come
it's
work?
just you, Alison. It's just you.
Maybe you fixed it.
That is weird. No, I don't think I fixed it. But again, iPhone users, some people ask on the iPhone. It's not on the iPhone because Apple doesn't let you access that sensor. So they do have an infrared sensor, but they don't let developers access it. I think they want more control over what its intended purpose is.
Yeah, Luke says it all works. All right. Well, I'm going to get.
Oh,
the S10 on Hannah's works as well. Well, actually, I've only tried it on the S10 Note. On this, sorry,
yeah, maybe it's the Note that's the issue. Yeah.
But I thought somebody else said S10. All right. Well, I've got an S10, so I'll get playing with that.
Yeah. Lisa says, I get that, and it says calibrating. So the magnetometer does calibrate when you first open the app, and it will also calibrate when you tap it. And what calibrating means is it just means what's the normal level of magnetic interference in this room, and for a few seconds it'll just monitor what's the norm, and then it will set that as the end of the spectrum. Sorry, the end of the spectrum, so that you can then detect fluctuations. Because if you're in a highly magnetic room, it's just going to be maxed out the whole time, and that's not useful to you. So it will, if you're in a highly magnetic room because you're surrounded by iron bars or something, it will detect that and then make that the minimum. So then anything, does that make sense? Anything after that is a fluctuation, right? So that's what calibrating means. It should only take like 2 seconds. It gets the average, then says, okay, this is the normal. Let's measure it from here.
But that's what the Ovilus does as well. You'll always get a couple of words coming out of it as it calibrates. So.
Yeah, because again, the magnetometer, it's different on lots of different devices. People could be standing in different types of rooms, different interference. So we said, I think it's best that you find out what's normal and then baseline the rest of your session on what was normal. If you change rooms, then obviously you need to recalibrate. You can tap the magnetometer and it will recalibrate again.
Adam, how come yours works on the Note 10?
So weird.
Yeah, that's going to be hard to figure out.
I'm going to try mine again now because you tried it.
It's hard to debug. It's like, I don't know what. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different causes and things that it could be. It's hard to put your finger on when it's working on some and not others. So.
Okay, so Ashley's just said depends. Maybe it depends on who dropped their phone because he's got no hope.
Maybe Julianne made a good point. Maybe you need to update the phone. Maybe there was a problem and Samsung have patched it or something.
Yeah, maybe. I'll give it another go.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it since the arcade when he did the arcade episode because that's when he showed me and it wouldn't do it on my phone.
Because as I mentioned, I did find a lot of articles of people saying they were having issues on other apps with it, and so maybe it was an issue and maybe they fixed it now and you just got to update the latest version or something. I'm not sure. I will have to keep looking into it, but yeah.
Okay. Well, Kerry says hers works as well, so all right. Well, I'll have to try mine.
Oh, someone said, Kerry said it works. It's about a quarter of the way down the screen, not at the top. So because it's under the screen, so it actually appears a bit. It's not at the very top like the phone.
Yeah.
But anyway. Oh, one other thing. On the website ghosttube.com, there is a way to send me feedback and notes if you ever have any issues or questions. There's a contact form. So yeah, reach out, and I'm always pretty responsive within 24 to 48 hours if you send me an email. So.
And guys, don't forget, go to Google Play, is it? And if you're enjoying the app, go and review it and rate it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Really, really important to the and it's not a quick thing. It's a lot of work's gone into this, a lot of time and effort. So, and that's where everybody's going to look when they look at this app. They're going to look at the reviews and they're going to look at the star ratings. So, go to Google Play and go and give those ratings. And
I will share. I've had a few interesting reviews. I had a 1-star review the other day, and the person said the app doesn't work when I put anything near it. It beeps. I put an ice cream container, it beeps. I put my hand, it beeps. I put this, it beeps. And my response was, that's what it's supposed to do. It's a proximity sensor. That means it's working. So sometimes I think some people expect. I think some people are looking for like an entertainment app where there's just a ghost that appears and it's like, oh my god. Some people want that, right, for entertainment purposes. So when they get GhostTube and it's just some, little bar at the bottom and that they think, it's not doing anything. I think real paranormal investigators appreciate it, but people that are after a spooky little ghost app probably were looking for one of those other ones that we've mentioned.
Yeah. So even more important that you go and put your 5 stars on there. Right?
Yeah. That'd
be cool, guys.
Be very
You've met Jared. You know he puts a lot of time and effort into this, and it is based on real stuff, and that's the thing about this one. It is based on what the phone can do. So, all right. Well, we've probably taken up all your time. I said you'd be coming on for half an hour, and look, that's the Alison half hour. Look, there's a butterfly. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, exactly.
But Lisa said this session's been very, very informative. So thank you, Amy and Jared. Jenny's already on it for the Google reviews. So,
thanks, Jenny.
So hopefully all of you that are watching will go and just take the time to do that because I know they'll be very appreciative of it. So,
thank you.
Look, an Alison half hour.
Yeah.
Didn't it go quick? So, it did go quick.
No, thanks for having us on. I know that ghost hunting apps for a lot of people are a bit of a like sort of a unsure, and we're trying to break the stigma. I mean, there's definitely apps out there that are there to entertain and that are there to do some scares and trick your friends and that sort of thing. And we're just trying to show that the phone is a very powerful. For a lot of phones now are powerful than some laptops, and they've got a lot of cool sensors that just aren't being utilized. So I think that we're really trying to break that stigma and show that you can have a serious paranormal app. So and
I must admit, I was like that. I was the one that was going when you mentioned that. I was like, oh.
Yeah. At the Railway Museum, we got the app and
I was like,
oh. But having it explained and seen it,
Yeah, I think it's also, we also try to encourage, like, you know, sometimes we get reviews and some people say, you know, oh, I spoke to such and such and it was really cool, and they give me 5-star, and I could easily just say thanks for the review, that's awesome. But I always like to remind them, in even those 5-star reviews, like, look, you know, it's a paranormal, just like any paranormal equipment, we always encourage a skeptical approach. You know, you should be thinking about, is there anything else that could have been triggering readings on your device? You know, could it just be a coincidence? You know, so we always try to encourage everyone to be skeptical, just like we are.
Yeah, I you are fairly skeptical, even though you do the Amy's Crypt, especially you, Jared. It's like you're a bit like Craig.
You know,
like
even
Craig,
I'm fairly skeptical.
You can't explain.
I think most times we get a magnetic reading, we've been able to prove that it was something that caused it. So I think, like, the latest example I've got is Kapunda. We were walking through the cemetery and it just went off all of a sudden. And then we worked out the little iron bars around the graves were setting it off. So we always try to say what could have caused this.
Yeah.
The words are a bit harder because obviously it's based on those numbers and you can't see those numbers on the screen, right? But, you know, from time to time it will spit out something really random. Barbara. And we'll, you know, but so, yeah, we always try to encourage people to be skeptical, just like we are. Skeptical, it's made by skeptics for skeptics, and yeah. No,
that's brilliant. So there you go, guys. These two, the power couple, smart and sexy. You should have that on your t-shirts.
And then we've got Amy and Jared here as well.
I love that.
I'm clicking that one out.
Oh dear. Oh, sorry, I couldn't resist that one.
Thank you so much for taking your time on your Sunday night.
Yeah, we always love coming on here with you guys.
No, thanks for the support too.
Yeah, thank you.
Have to finish up, send me the link for that information stuff, and I'll stick it up here. And if they've got any more questions and they think about a question afterwards, where's best to contact you to ask a question?
The same link I'll give you, there's a little contact section, and they can just write what phone they've got and what issue they're having, or they want me to comment on something that they had come through. When the community tab comes out, hopefully in a couple of months, you can share it with other people, and you know, if you want, you know, people to review what you caught on camera or provide their views, that'll be a really cool feature for that as well. So at the moment, I do get a lot of people sending me stuff saying, "Can you look at this?" And it's getting a bit hard to look at all of them. So I'm hoping with the community, people can help each other out.
Brilliant,
cool.
Brilliant. And don't forget to go and subscribe to their YouTube channel. I know I've got the, I can't even see. That's just pointing at Amy now. At the bottom, I've got the, thank you. There you go. Facebook will link you to everything else, hopefully. But don't forget, they've got a YouTube channel. They've got Facebook. They've got a website. You've got your blog. Go follow Amy's Crypt and go and support them, and go and give them a good review on Google Play. All right?
No, Ash, you're not getting Amy's number.
Like not getting any hints on what's coming. All right,
it'll be soon.
I promise within a few weeks it'll drop. So within a few weeks it'll drop.
All right, everybody have a lovely Sunday evening. What's left of it? I'm going to go, and you two hang on, because we're just kicking this lot off. Bye. So, all right, enjoy, and we'll probably catch you on tomorrow anyway. So, okay, catch you later. Bye.
Bye.